This is going to be a very informal video because I didn't plan on filming any of this, but partway through, I remembered that one of you guys left a comment the other day saying that you'll be replacing your muffler and tailpipe pretty soon. So I figured maybe this would be a good time to show how I pull these things off. I've already got the bolts out that hold the catalytic converter assembly to the muffler. And you can see there's not much left of the nuts on there, and these were very rusted before I pulled them out. You can see I got them out intact on the ground right here, and I did that by using a torch. This is just a torch that you'd find in the plumbing section of a hardware store or Home Depot or whatever. It either runs on propane or MAP gas, which is what I'm using. I use the MAP because it burns a little hotter and it's quicker to heat things up. Propane works fine just as well, but it takes a little bit longer. So before I touched the bolts, I heated these nuts up until they were pretty much cherry red. And obviously we don't want to burn the paint or anything above it. So I also used this little heat blanket that usually would be in the same aisle right next to the torch, made for protecting areas behind the torch when you're plumbing. So I just threw that up on top of this so we didn't burn the paint. Heated those nuts up until they were cherry red, and they pretty much turned right out. Destroyed the nut in the process, so I'm going to need to, I'll probably take a cold chisel, try to break those off, and then I'll use an attachment on a Dremel rotary tool to grind them flat, and then I'll just use regular nuts instead of the weld nuts that are on there. And I may end up replacing the bolts. I'm not sure yet if we'll be able to clean up the threads enough. But if I can't, I'll just probably grab a new bolt with a washer down at the hardware store. So that takes care of that. The whole reason I'm doing this, by the way, is to replace this gasket right in here because mine's leaking a little bit. So that takes care of that part. And then we've got all the hangers here that can be a little bit of a pain to get off sometimes because they've got this flared end right here with the rubber bushing, and what I use to get these off is usually a pair of channel locks like this. Much easier to do with two hands, but I'll see if I can demonstrate with one. So I'll put one end of the jaws on that metal flare, and I'll put the other end on the back side of the rubber, and then we'll squeeze together and slowly work it. You can see that's almost all the way off. Could keep working it a little bit more if I needed to, but you get the point, I think. So I'll just go down the line, do that to all of them, and then this whole assembly will slide back. And that's as far as I need to go to get that new gasket in there. But as far as replacing the muffler and tailpipe, I'm not real sure what the factory setup is like. Because this is an aftermarket muffler that was on here when I bought the FJ, so I don't really have any insight to give on that, but hopefully that provides a little bit of help for anyone else looking to do this.